I don't give a damn, Dennis. I'm not gonna play an Indian. What? Yeah, look. That is old news, and no one would buy it anyway. Oh, well, look, I want to make Wounded Knee, make Viva Zapata look like Candy. I know you didn't see Candy. Nobody did. That's my point. Look, I am not going to play Sitting Bull. I mean, it'll make it look like a minstrel show, for Christ's sake. I mean, I got to play a rancher or a sheriff or something, huh? We'll talk to the writers. Well, the audience will sympathize with whomever the writer decides, if he knows what the hell he's doing. I know I recommended him. Now I'm recommending that you call him and work things out, Dennis. Because, I mean, you know the history. You know all the details. You're the head of the American Indian movement, not me. You know what? Hold on a second. I'm going to have Wally talk to you. I'm going to have Wally explain it, all right? Well, see, I couldn't have said it any better myself, huh? No, I don't want him to call me. Look, because I got too much to do, Dennis. I got Tahiti and the kids. And a man can't do everything on his own here. I mean, are you going to help me out with this or not? Well, good. Okay. Well, you know, call Abby and conference it out, and then you get back to me. You know, in fact, you know what? Leave me alone about this for a couple of days, all right? I got things in my mind. Thank you. Oh, Wally. You're right again. I mean, they just don't make adults like they used to. Oh, Wally. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I mean, you know, I can't talk to anyone else except you these days, you know? I mean, I'll never make any progress. I mean, Christian's still drinking. I mean, he's just a kid, for Christ's sake. You know, the other day, he stole some pot from my neighbor's private stash. Did I tell you that? Jack Nicholson comes to my door and he says, "Hey, listen, Captain, you know, I've got no beef with you, you know. I was hoping we'd make a movie together or something like Abbott and Costello, you know, but if I catch your kid sticking his beak in my pot jar one more time, I'm going to have him arrested on B&E, and that's after I have him break his fucking nose." It's all his mother's fucking fault. Filthy, lying bitch. She's just as bad as the rest of them. But she's not going to poison him against me or his mind against the world. What the hell are you looking at, huh? Doing my goddamn best here. Yeah? Oh, speak of the she-devil, huh? Well, you know, I mean, I should have smelled the whiff of sulfur in the air with the phone rang. What? Yes, I'm taking him to Tahiti. Why? To get him away from this cesspool and all you shithills that are slowly killing him. Well, if the shithill fits, honey. Oh, what? Oh, lawyers. Oh, hold on a second. Well, let me see here. I don't gossip, I don't, no, that's too far. Oh, here it is. I don't give a shit. All file away, you psychotic whore. How much more can I do, huh? I mean, I'm tired, Wally. I am sick and tired of all the bullshit. I know what you're thinking. No, I know what you're thinking. Not this again. But yes, yeah. I mean, you know, I don't have it anymore for the pictures or for my family. I mean, and they'd be better off without me, especially Christian. What the fuck am I hanging around for? You know, I should have died a long time ago, like James Dean, forever young and beautiful. Oh. You knew when to bow out, right? Yeah. I mean, there are no natural causes for people like us. And you psychotic bitch, you win, all right? I mean, that line from Cyrano. There as I end the refrain.
Thrust home!
Wally!
Hi, bud.
Needles!
Pins!
Triplets!
Twins!
When a man marries.
His troubles begin!
When a man
His
dies.
troubles all end!
What goes up a chimney?
Smoke! This promise between us will never be broke! Thumbs!
Oh, Wally, I miss you so much, I can hardly say. Oh. Gillibrando gets cocks in a headlock. There's no love lost between you two titans of the ring, but only one will emerge victorious. Will the baby face get loose?
Cox turns the table on the champ! He's got the killer death right! It's the killer gonna tap out!
I give.
Cox wins the day!
Oh, God. How have you been?
Well, when you consider that I've been dead for over a year, I guess you could say things could be a lot better, but on the other hand, they could be worse.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, I always knew you would get in, but, you're still wearing the same old crappy suit. Hey, you want a cognac, a sandwich or something? I mean, is there anything I can get you? Anything I can do for you?
I thought I was here to do something for you.
Oh, me? No, I'm fine. I mean, things were a little rough going for a while, and not just with the pictures and all, but, you know, now that I've done Godfather and Tango and stuff, I'm back on top again. You know, I can make it.
Well, everybody needs a little help sometime.
Oh, yes, Doc, you know, I keep having this bizarre feeling that I'm a chicken.
I see. And how long have you had this feeling?
Since I was a little egg. I mean, I wasn't very religious, but my father was a friar. What is this? Hey, Wally, you want to help me? Oh, that's it.
I got it.
That feels so good. Oh, yeah. Hey, Wal.
Yeah.
Remember back in Evanston?
Oh, yeah. When a nickel's worth was worth a nickel's worth of joy, huh?
Yeah, at Lincoln Elementary.
Ah!
Best in the nation! Well, I mean, we were destined to be friends ever since your father met Jody in Chicago and everything. Of course, I wasn't as sickly as you were.
Ah, yeah. Sickly little Wally. I guess I could say I was prone to the odd cold or two. I mean, I got pretty sick that time that when we were playing Cowboys and you tied me to the tree. I was there a couple hours. But, you know, a lot of time I pretended to be sick or I caught a cold on purpose. But to get time off from school, you know.
Oh, yeah. But you were a pretty damn good lawman when the time came to it. Except the word's out on you, Sheriff. You've gone soft, you've taken to the bottle, and no two-bit greenhorn, tin horn, leghorn is gonna bring in old Buddy Aberdeen Brando.
Give it up, Aberdeen. We got you for horse stealing, cattle rustling, land grabbing, raping a cactus.
Well, it was dark. I think I've been punished enough for that, Sheriff.
Yeah, well, you can tell it to the judge, because we got half your gang tied up, the other half's already in the pokey.
Well, then, I guess I'm gonna have to die alone. Unless you want to join me.
Viva Zapata, that. Nobody take a fall like you, but.
Oh, you remember that scene in the Godfather where you know the death scene, the tomato plants and the kid.
With the lemon, yeah.
Yeah, well, that was my idea.
You know, I thought that when I saw it.
Yeah?
And what a performance. Oh, God, you were just brilliant. And congratulations on the Oscar. I never got a chance to tell you before.
Oh, yeah. What did you think of Little Feather's speech?
Oh, well. I thought it would have been more powerful if you made the speech.
No. I mean, They will remember for years that little Indian girl being shouted down by those jerks. If I'd have done it, what they'd remember is how fat I was. No, that's what my mother Dodie taught me. Get their attention and hold it. Yeah, I mean, she had this shattered, poetic kind of elegance. My dad, yeah, he was the authority figure in the house, but Dodie's the one that held us together. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to go on about my mother.
Oh, no. I'm sorry I never got a chance to see her act.
Oh, she was more than an actress. I mean, that is the only time she was really living when she was on that stage. But when my father moved us to Chicago and she stayed home all the time, and that's when her death really began.
Similar story to my mother. The only time she really came alive was when she left home. Of course, she never came back.
The thing was, did you really have a picnic on her grave?
I said, yeah.
And then, well, then she ran. Then she ran away with this other woman.
Yeah, and she was a raging drunk.
Yeah, so was mine.
And so were you.
And so were you.
So maybe this is a good opportunity to learn from my mistakes.
Yeah. Wait a minute. You were not a drunk at 9 years old. That would account for all that sickliness. When did you have time to read all those books?
Yeah, Wally the Bookworm, right. Well, did you ever imagine that I hated school and I did as little as possible? But it wasn't my fault. I could do everything they asked me to do, and anybody can appreciate literature if they apply themselves.
Yeah, but what about all those Oz books?
Well, now Oz is a whole different story, because that's the only place where all the important persons were children or animals or creatures made from some material other than meat. And what kid wouldn't love that? But I love to play. I'll go out and play. You know that. I mean, every fall I couldn't wait for those first snow flurries where I'd run and get my sled and put on my high-top boots and go out there and stand in the cold and for a half hour or so when the sled would get wet and I would catch a cold and then I'd go back home. And I tell you, a sled being dragged across bare ground is one of the saddest sounds in the whole world.
But Wally, there was always a month of flurries before there was any blanket of snow.
Yeah, I know, and every year I went out early and every year I was disappointed. So I guess you could say I never learned from my mistakes.
Well, you were so cute and small like a hamster.
Cute.
Small, cute.
Interchangeable, horrible words, and I loathe that they apply to me. I wish I had a nickel for every large person that called me either one of those names. But I was raised to smile and be polite. If only once I could have said, shut up!
Oh, fuck off!
Yeah. For one thing, maybe I would have grown from the sheer lack of hostility, and the other, maybe I wouldn't have hated the theater for as long as I did.
Oh, well, you never did feel comfortable in front of an audience, did you?
Oh, well, ha! Making my debut as a Scottish Highlander in the elementary school follies didn't help. I mean, there I was in front of the entire school, small, cute, and wearing a green plaid skirt.
Yeah, and you of that fabulous phallus, if it ever popped out, you would have scarred those kids for life, and not to mention the rest of the school. But it wasn't all lollipops and sunshine for you, I remember. What was that girl you always used to make fun of? Nasty vagina?
Virginia, nasty Virginia. Well, we were just being stupid kids, I mean, just kids. But you're right. No, if you want to feel dreadful for 30 years, simply bring a lot of pain to some innocent little girl who has no weapons against you.
No. Well, if you want to really feel great satisfaction, what you do is you stoop to help someone in need. How many times did I protect or defend you on that schoolyard?
Just.
Oh no! Come on now! It wasn't always about you.
Maybe because you mentioned
I mean,
so many times.
it was about honor and chivalry.
It was about lunch money.
Let's go.
Hey, let's go. Hand it over. Come on.
Hey, leave the little kid alone.
Oh. Hey, I don't know who you are, but how is this any of your business? And take a hike.
This is my business.
What? Wait, hang on. Who?
When I see four cheap punks like you taking the last few pennies the kids got left in the world, it becomes my business.
Hit him! Oh, thank you you very much, kind sir. I don't know what I would have done had you not come along.
Well, that's all in a day's work, amigo.
Yeah, and I'm sure you'd like to remember it that way, too.
Wally, you remember it different, right?
Touch me.
Oh, all right, now I'm you. Okay. Well,
Hi, what are you looking at? You see the way that guy looked at you? I think he wants to steal your lunch money. A guy in Kentucky looked at me that way once, and now when he looks at other people there, he's only got the one good eye to do it.
oh, me, oh, my.
Well, what are you gonna do? Just sit there and take it? Be a man, stand up for yourself!
I am standing.
What? You wanna go a couple of rounds with Wally, the Widowmaker? He could have been a contender. Have at it, tough guy!
Oh, I don't think that'd be such a good idea, particularly since my solar plexus is in a state of tubercular malfeasance. And additionally, I'm having an abnormal dysfunction in my adenoids.
I think you think too much, Bookworm. This is your problem. You know what? Just because some guy helps out another guy, there has to be something going on. I'll give you something going on.
Well, no one takes a fall like you, bud. Okay, so you were right. Your memory's better than mine, I mean, but then you were always smarter than me, brighter, quicker.
Me, smart? Are you kidding? You were a genius. You still are. I was merely brilliant.
Oh, wait a minute now. When did our friendship ever become a competition?
Not when. Why? All right, yes, I will give you that it takes two people to make an argument, and I was really kind of jealous of your success with the ladies. I mean, who wouldn't want that kind of attention?
Oh, no, why? I mean, don't you get it? All the girls and everything like that, that wasn't me, that was my old man. I mean, he always had girls around all the time, chauffeurs, and weren't my mother, you know, drunks, and, you know, I didn't want that out of life. You know, I mean, people say that I inherited his sexuality. I say he cursed me with it. He was a brutal, ugly, vicious man. I mean, he was abusive to his friends and mean-spirited. You know that milking scene in Tango? I mean, that really happened. Yeah, I'm all dressed up, best clothes, these real gone threads, man. And I'm going out the door and he says,
Where do you think you're going?
basketball game, Pop.
Milk the cow?
Oh, I'll do that later, Pop.
The hell you will. No son of mine is going to shirk his joy so he can go prancing off to some ball game. Now get your ass out there and milk that cow.
Hey, Pop, you're not serious. I saved 2 months for these clothes. This is the big game. I'm not going outside and milking any fucking cow.
Don't you ever raise your voice to me like that or use that kind of language in this house. That cow puts a roof over your head, which I own. Now get out there and do as you're told. Where you going?
I'm gonna change, Pop.
No, now, before it gets dark, you stupid lummox. You're more animal than man. The cow ought to milk you. My biggest regret is ever giving you my whole name.
Well, that was my old man. Sent me out in the world with the shit on my shoes and my pants, and I had to live in his miserable, shitty existence. But, you know, I'm never going to be that way, Wally. I'm not going to be the father my father was.
Well, we all become our parents. I mean, at least that's what they say.
Hey, Wally, how about a song, huh?
Oh, no.
Oh, come on, it'll be fun. I mean, who knows if we get a chance to do this again, you know what I mean? Look, we'll do something from Evanston, like a song my mother taught me.
You're pushing them. You gotta deal with this.
I know a certain young fellow
This is not a good idea.
who's filling the people with joy.
But I do like Irving Berlin.
How would you like to say hello to this remarkable boy? People are talking about him. He's been the topic for days. He's a winsome gent with an instrument that plays.
I'd like you all to meet him, shake hands with Mr. Jazz himself. He took the saxophone from off the shelf, and when you hear him play, you'll say he's been taking lessons up in heaven.
That dreamy moan is his own originality. He knows a certain kind of change in a minor key.
I don't know how he does it, but when he starts to sing the blues, woo, he's a messenger of happy news, and no one can do it as my friend Mr. Jazz, my friend Mr. Jazz. Wait, so bad.
Remember that time up in New York?
Oh, funny you should ask. That was when you were trying to get your sister into that
Yeah.
shopping cart on 6th Avenue?
But the thing was, it'd been a decade since Evanston, and you come strolling along, and without skipping a beat, you said,
Hi, bud.
Hey, Wal, I'm having a real difficult time teaching Franny here to take a ride in my shopping cart.
Well, if there's still a space open, I'm in. Of course, at the time, I didn't realize you were going to be taking both feet up off the ground and sending us careening out of control down 6. But, all right. Whoa! Whoa, what's that? Pulling out! Whoa, a lady with a baby carriage! Whoa, manhole!
Oh, cement mixer, funeral procession!
Whoa, a guy on the walker! There's a marching band, look at that! Hey, look, two guys with a big painted clean. Oh, my goodness! Is that the president? Give him hell, Harry! Wow, look, look, there's a bank robbery in progress. Hey, here's an electrified band!
No old man on a stretcher?
She died before the paramedics got there.
you know, I always said you had the mentality of a serial killer.
Well, that's probably why they call me in for every rape and kidnapping and indecent exposure. Watch the birdie!
If you hadn't, driven your motorcycle up the steps of the town hall, they might have had a better impression of you.
Well, that didn't make me a kidnapper.
Well, you fit the type.
But you were lucky you got famous, so you didn't have to go to night court for the rest of your life.
Which is, would have been okay, because it would have meant less time I would have had to spend in that apartment with the filthy beast you kept in.
Maureen Stapleton? oh, you mean Russell. Russell was my pet.
Russell was a raccoon!
Yeah, well.
Liver.
Yeah, but how come you said that? Funny, I should mention New York.
Well, because that wasn't the last time we went careening out of control.
Or crash.
Yeah.
What's it like for you up there?
Oh, well, there's, how do you think it is for me up there?
No, I think you're getting all you deserve, the best of everything.
Good evening, Mr. Cox. Welcome to heaven.
Thank you.
All your needs and tastes have been catered to. Your sled is nice and dry. And no one here over 4 feet tall, so no worries in that regard. And the bourbon flows out of the tap, and you'll appreciate that, I'm sure.
So what about you? Weren't you supposed to get the best out of life? I mean, the nightcomers, candy. Didn't you want the best for yourself? Oh, and from yourself.
Well, I was making art, and they were all in the shit business.
Well, what? The same thing happened to Orson Welles after Ambersons. Don't look at me like that. I mean, we both peaked early. We were both subject to the studio system. We both had our best work cut to shreds by bureaucrats and neophytes, and we both got fat.
Well, you're not that fat yet.
I'll always be fat.
Brando, Marlon Brando, he's the fattest guy in history. There's his good friend Wally, he's the cutest guy you'll ever see. Wally! You're from Stella to Wally.
But I'll tell you something. I ain't gonna get screwed again. From now on, Brando's gonna get his, all right? You should see the deals I got lined up.
Yeah, well, what about your recent successes, The Godfather and Tango? You didn't do those for the money.
I did them both for the money. And they were also damn good movies besides me being in them. I mean, and I worked pretty hard on them, and I was lucky to get them. But Stephanie Beecham and I went over the old films I did, and Turns out the good ones like Byrne and Jackson Waterfront were difficult, painful experiences. And, that Tango, well, now, that was really embarrassing, Wally. I never really exposed myself like that on the screen before, and it was a real strain. If that's acting, then I think it has to be. And I'm through, because it's just too painful. Besides, movies are crap now anyway, and the American people have lost their mind.
Yeah, well, TV has sure made it a lot easier for some people to become abnormally attached to their favorite stars. Just a little frightening.
It's all those magazines, the National Enquirer, all those rags.
Oh, yes, inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, they want to know too damn much. It's only going to get worse. I mean, did you hear what happened to Bob Dylan?
They were going through his garbage, they were on his roof at night and everything like that, and with this Manson stuff going on, it's not funny. I mean, that's one of the reasons I have a gun around here.
Well, maybe then this is a good time to try to convince Christian not to break into the neighbors' houses.
You know how hard it is when you're divorced. You only get so much influence with them. What am I going to tell this kid? Don't experiment, don't make mistakes. He wouldn't buy it, and neither would I. I've yelled at him, and I've reasoned, and I set him down, and I said, son, you are killing yourself with these things. All these people, these drugs, all the boozing. I love you so much, son, and it breaks my heart to think that, what could happen to you out there if you don't start making better choices.
Yeah, maybe you could teach him by example. Because that's how he got in this in the first place. Yeah, he learned by watching you. And I love you, bud, and it breaks my heart to think of what might happen if you don't start making better choices.
Speaking of bad choices, I never saw myself as a big dramatic actor. I mean, forget James Dean and Monty Clift. I wanted to be Oliver Hardy. I always thought comedy would be my thing. Can you imagine that in Tango? Wally, I want you to get the fucking butter and stick your fingers up my ass. Wally, what is the matter?
I don't want to stick my fingers up your ass, buddy.
It's funny, you become an actor, you want to be successful, you want to have a little fame.
I never thought that you were that ambitious.
Well, I'm not as ambitious as some, but I didn't get into show business to become obscure. But the thing is, you get caught in a character, and the public gets that perception of you, and then you come to resent it. So the thing that you always dreamt about, that I got you what you wanted all along, is the thing you wind up hating the most.
It kills me that you didn't get greater fame. I mean, why is that, Wally? I mean, didn't you want the best from life for yourself and from yourself?
Well, once I was driving to the set of Hollywood Squares, and on my way there I came across this butterfly. You should have seen it. It was this beautiful Larkin's Admiral. And I followed it halfway to Nevada just to see where it was going and watch it get there. And I didn't take my eyes off it for over an hour. I don't know, I'm amazed that I didn't crash.
I'm amazed that you were still doing Hollywood Squares.
Yeah, well, everybody knocks the squares, but it's the most funniest game show since Groucho, and believe me, it saved a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, so did penicillin, but I wouldn't stay home and watch it on television. Look, what about that show? That Paul Lynn and that cute little pretty brunette, what was her name?
Karen?
Karen Valentine.
Karen
Right.
Valentine?
Yeah. Now there's something going on between the two of them.
Oh,
Huh?
they're very, very close. I know, because I used to go to dinner with them every Thursday night between tapings. But, Karen, she used to tell him all about her men, and he was like her best girlfriend, and he would listen. But it's Paul Lynn. He and Karen Valentine are together.
Yeah, but that is a tragedy of their dual love affair.
Look at it this way. She's America's sweetheart. He's the reigning queen of TV, right? They're co-workers, the best of friends, but he is secretly in love with her. And though this whole reaction astounds him in every way, You know, it contradicts his every fiber that her name hangs in his heart like a golden bell. And when he hears it, the bell swings and rings. Karen Valentine! Karen Valentine!
You're doing Cyrano again.
Exactly! A modern day homosexual Cyrano. I mean, they can't be together. Nature's taking care of that, you know. But he pines beneath his cavalier facade. And all the while, his heart is withering away by the hour. And if he's nursing that broken heart with liquor, you, my friend, are going to have company sooner than you think.
Yeah, anyhow, the best in life didn't come from me for being on a TV show or a film set, and let alone trying to save a race of nearly extinct people.
Yeah, well, sometimes people need saving, you know. I mean, governments are corrupt and men are so stupid and inept. Look at Vietnam and Watergate.
Well, what about them? I mean, as long as we learn from our mistakes. I mean, can you imagine another elitist, secretive, corrupt White House administration like Nixon's? Or America stumbling headlong into some untenable situation like Vietnam?
Hello, Department of Denial? Yeah, I have someone here you should talk to. He should run your whole Western Division.
I'm sorry, sir, but you've reached the office of the obvious and oblivious. And we have a very serious condition here. We have a man who is trying to save the entire world because he won't look at the troubles in his own life. Could you hold? Yeah, but I certainly do admire your willingness to take on the larger opponents. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. Step right up and meet the amazing Marlon. Yes, the amazing Marlon. The amazing Marlon, ladies and gentlemen. He's capable of taking on the greatest and most giant opponents, and he can bring the dead back to life. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the amazing Marlon. He led a generation of actors out of bondage. The amazing Marlon. He defied the wills of kings and, more impressively, film producers. Yes, the amazing Marlon. He's Jesus. He's Moses. He's Elijah. He's Gerald Ford, all rolled into one.
Yeah, well, that's my motto, aim high.
Yeah, mine was always talk softly and carry a little twig.
Yeah, it hurt a minimum of people.
Yes,
a dangerously
yes,
old-fashioned
yes,
outlook.
yes. Well, I was modern enough in my way.
Oh, you were the pioneer of modern therapy. I don't know anybody who went at it as long as you did, considering the effects or lack thereof.
Well, sure, I went to therapy. I didn't want to be the last one. But you know, it turned out that I wasn't so crazy. It was some sort of chemical imbalance or something. So the doctors put me on these pills.
Yeah? Did they work?
Well, I guess for a little bit, a while, and then they took me off it because my mood swings started getting more and more severe, and then they said I would stabilize.
Well, you stabilized her, right? Oh, Marlon, I'm sorry. That is in terrible bad taste.
Yeah, but you know how it is. Some days you can't get out of bed in the morning, and some days you're terrified to go home. It's like laughing your head off and crying your eyes out at the same time.
I do know. So then the thing is, you didn't kill yourself.
Telephone.
Yeah. Hey, look. No, I want you and Dennis to work it out. I told him that.
Look, I am not gonna wear a headdress and dance around like I'm on fucking F-Troop, all right? Now, will you people leave me the hell alone? Wally, I mean, Francis didn't have that kind of trouble. I mean, Wally! Wally!
I never cared much for discords. They never cared much for me. But when I listen to his chords, they just agree to agree. He's not a Wagner or Verdi. He's not a classy highbrow. He's the boy who has put the joy in jazz, and now
I'd like you all to meet and shake
hands with Mr. Jazz himself.
He took the saxophone from off the shelf, and when you hear him play, you'll say he's been taking lessons up in heaven. Heaven. You get better like, oh, why?
Wally, he came back.
Hey, I didn't want to be rude. I see you, somebody did a little extra drinking while I was gone.
Well, I didn't want to be sober.
Where's that? What is the closest planet to the sun?
Mercury.
The farthest?
Patronizing me, sir. I take that as an insult.
On guard. Mambo!
Samba.
Ha, tango! Flamenco, you putz!
Damn, you call it Whippinell.
Teapot don't scandal!
1920.
22!
Moby Dick.
1851!
1950.
51, you must have a copy of it around here someplace. Look it up! McKinley assassinated!
1901.
Very good, Mr. Bud.
Yeah, well then, Dr. Peepers. You think you can name all 7 dwarfs?
Doc, dopey, sleepy, grumpy,
See, now you forgot your putts.
Sneezy, victory is mine. Why, sir? Why?
To prove a point, no one takes a fall like me.
The next sound you hear will be that of your throat being cut.
Oh, that's pretty good. I gotta use that someday. Hey, oh, I missed you, darling.
Yes, well, I miss you too. I miss all the stuff. I miss my friends. I miss climbing rocks. I miss making love to my wife. I miss Underdog.
And we all do. Overcat. Hilarious. But you know, I mean, you did a lot of things. You worked all the time. There were times when I couldn't get arrested in Hollywood and you were doing the barefoot executive on TV and books. You know, and for what did you care, right? I mean, you had your Harley and you had your butterfly.
Yeah, well, my agent was a lot more upset about my career than I was.
Yeah, well, you did have a rather dark outlook on life. I mean, but I don't blame you considering what happened to you and that bitch.
Now, no need to use that kind of language.
What do you mean? You come home, you found your wife in bed with her lover, and then the guy jumps up and nearly beats you to death, huh? I mean, doesn't that deserve foul language and then some?
Well, yeah. But, you know, it did bring back a lot of sorrowful memories about my mom, because fidelity wasn't exactly her strong point either. What is it about me that drove them all away? I mean, was I just too small and cute to be taken seriously, or wasn't I witty and charming enough? Or was it the depression? You know, I was getting professional help. I was on the medications.
Oh, don't do that to yourself. I mean, other people have problems too, you know.
Yeah, of course you're right. I don't disagree with you, but you know, I made so many mistakes. The same mistakes I hated other people for making.
Well, we all have our little hobbies.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you know, the other thing is, I don't know what I'd rather have them believe, the truth or the rumor.
What rumor?
Well, you know, about us.
Me and you.
Well, yeah, they always whispered about it back, you know, in New York, even in the schoolyard.
Ah, that's just kid stuff, just playground bullshit. No one puts a lot of stock in that anyway.
Yeah, but we're not little kids anymore, and the sandbox is a lot muddier. People who you thought were your friends have turned out to be vicious and catty, even venomous.
Oh, you remember what Grace Kelly said? This town is rampant with insecurity. And then she left.
You know how they announced my death on the set of Hollywood Squares? The producer goes to the writers and he says, "No more Wally Cox questions." That's my legacy. No more Wally Cox questions. When you die, they'll have plenty to write about. I mean, acting legend, civil rights activist, land developer. I'll always be Marlon Brando's one-time rumored lover, star of TV's Mr. Peepers.
Yeah, don't forget Underdog. Hey, what was that thing that Underdog always used to say?
Where are my residuals?
So the thing, well, is that, so you didn't kill yourself?
No, I would never do a thing like that. Besides, I hadn't finished rigging Les Roberts' long-distance wiring yet.
Oh, you and the telephone company again. Always tilting at windmills.
The telephone company is no windmill, and it's an actual dragon, and it needs to be slain, even if it's scale by scale by scale. And it's not the only time that I took on an opponent much larger than myself.
That's the best kind.
It's the only kind. And, how do you know I wasn't murdered?
What murder? Murder?
I mean, you know, I've been booked in Vegas for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And the opening night, I mean, I just bombed. I absolutely died. So the guy who books the club, the owner, you know these guys that run these clubs in Vegas.
Connected.
Yeah, well, he had developed a sort of reputation around town that Caligula would have envied. Anyway, he comes into the dressing room after the show and he says to me,
Hey, Mr. Peppers, you know, the thing is, you know, things ain't working out like we figured, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
You know, I think if you gathered up your things, your pencil cases and ties and stuff, we'll see you around.
Okay. So the next night, I came back to the place about an hour before showtime. I'm sitting in the dressing room, and he comes back in, only this time he has the bouncer with him. You know what a bouncer is? A bouncer is somebody so big that he can never bounce a ball again ever in his life.
Hey, maybe I don't talk so good, or maybe you don't hear so good, or maybe you don't remember so good. So what I'll do is I'll put it in Brainiac talk for you, all right? Now, your services are no longer transpired, capiche?
I take it you don't want me to fulfill my engagement?
Bibbidi bobbidi boo. I knew the little Einstein would get it.
Hi, Rocco.
Well,
Oh, yeah, well, you understand that I have a contract which stipulates that the only condition under which I will not be paid is if I fail to appear, and as you see, I have appeared.
hey, take it easy, Rocco.
Rocco,
Jeez,
blood
hold on.
pressure, come
Look,
on.
what we'd like to do is work out a new agreement with you, a verbal kind of contract, whereby you go back to Hollywood this minute, foregoing all financial obligations, and in return, we let you go.
And you have understood probably by this time that I'm not some nameless drifter who would disappear without a trace. And I was wondering if your handlers would like this sort of disturbance of their business. And by their business, I mean the running of this fine establishment.
Four Eyes, you are about to get yours. 2,000? Okay, I'll be back.
So will I.
Oh, Wally, that is Bartleby, the Scribner.
Yeah, modern day heterosexual Bartleby. So 4 weeks later, I show up, I pick up my final payment, and I go home without having done a second show.
Yes, but you insulted their honor, and your dying on the stage was not enough for them. So, in about 2 months, when you thought this whole matter forgotten, they tracked you down to your cozy little Beverly Hills hideaway.
I wasn't exactly hiding away.
Yeah, but they snuck into your room, and you were probably drunk and asleep at the time, and they said, "Payback time, Mr. Poppers, huh?" Huh? That's what happened.
No, I was just kidding. Actually, the Vegas story actually happened, but the mob never came after me. But it does make a kind of a neat story, doesn't it?
The mentality of a serial killer. All right then, what happened, Wally? You weren't even 50 years old.
Oh, well, for one thing, this. I had been drinking a lot. Wait a minute. That's been a long time. I've been drinking a lot more those last couple of years, and then one night I was alone, Pat was away, I couldn't find any adequate company, so I took a few more pills and I drank a little bit more, and turns out I had a weak heart. My arteries were strong, my arteries were hard like a rock, but yeah, I just pushed the whole thing a little too hard and I had a massive heart attack.
Did it hurt?
Oh yeah, I learned like hell, but just a minute.
Oh, you stupid, selfish son of a bitch.
You're not gonna get an argument out of me.
I went down to St. James Infirmary, held my poor Wally's hand. He was stretched out on a long white table, so cold, so sweet, so sad. Let him go, God bless him, wherever he may be. You can search this whole wide world over, and he'll never find a friend like me. No, he'll never find a friend like me.
I'll say, at the night of my funeral, you hid up in my bedroom wearing my PJs.
Well, you know, I just wanted to be closer to you, Wally. I didn't care about those other people, and I didn't care what they thought or what they knew. They just got in the way. I mean, you were my friend, nobody else's.
Yeah, what, you're still talking to my ashes?
Those ashes are smarter than a lot of Hollywood executives walking around here.
Didn't Pat want you to disperse him, though?
Yeah, but I couldn't. When I die, we're gonna spread our ashes together.
Well, let's just hope that there's a lot of time between now and then. And I think it's what you do with the time between now and then is why I'm here.
Oh, no. If you're trying to get inside my mind, you are using the wrong angle. The defenses are too strong. I can get you in, but I don't think I can get you out alive. If you want to get past the eagle, you're going to have to knock out these two guards here. That's the memory. And then you'll have to circumvent this obstacle here. That's the imagination. This here is sobriety. That's close to renovations. Now, this here is a straight line to the ability to reason. But without sobriety, that area is prone to flooding.
I see. Well, perhaps, sir, you could bring yourself to face up to the things that are killing you so that you do not kill your children.
Now shut up about that, okay? Stop using my children as rhetoric against me, all right? Just stop that one. I don't like that game.
Well, I'm sorry to be so frank, bud, but everybody
stop
needs a little
calling me
help.
that too. I mean, we're not kids anymore. Maybe Marlon, huh? La 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 la.
It's the third quarter and the Miami Dolphins are up by 2 points. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have yet to bring out their secret weapon. Yes, Coach Cox is conferring with his team. And here he comes out on the field now. He's bruising Marlon Brando when the crowd goes wild. Opposing Brando is Rowdy Robinson Boopers. Brando's one-time teammate and long-time rival. There's the height. Brando comes down the field. He two-star Janko out of his jockstrap. He knocks Kenilworth over with a blow from his mighty right arm. Cox is a sitting ducks in front of Brando's pounding onslaught. Oh, man, he can't. Oh, look at that. He leaps over Brando as he crosses the goal line. Touchdown! Respecting wrinkles. Venga, Toro, venga. Here's a Veronica for you. Come on, who? Venga.
Hey, Wally.
It's a lucky thing for you that my picadores are on vacation.
You know, you like animal stories, right? You know, when I was a kid back there in Shoptalk Military Academy, I had a pet, a cat, feral sort of thing. And we called it Tigger, in keeping with Winnie the Pooh because it was orange, tabby, and striped. And that winter, well, she was heavy with litter, and it was really cold, February, you know. So I took it into my room, and I built the box, and we even bribed the floor captain so he looked the other way, and we named the kittens Piglet, Roo, Kanga, you know, keeping with that Winnie the Pooh theme. And one day, you know, I'm coming home. I'm coming home, and there was a pond, a frozen pond near the building. It was frozen over. And on the pond is one of the kittens, Piglet, I think. Its legs spread out, blood under it. The blood was running through the cracks. And you could see it like dark fingers on this white sheet. And I'm thinking, you know, the building is not that close. I mean, the kid could have stumbled out of the window, but how could it fall that far? The pond. And I look up and there's another one coming down. And his legs are spread out, his eyes are big and black and terrified. And I hear it as it hits and the crack of it. I don't know if it was his ribs or his legs or what, hitting that ice, and the crack of it, the sound of it. I look up, and there's this cadet, this guy, and he's smiling at me with joy, and he's throwing another one out the window. Well, I got up there, and they were ready for me. And they had closed that window, and it was a good thing, too, because I was going to throw that sick, degenerate son of a bitch out that fucking window. And I just grabbed him by his collar, and let me get to beat the living shit out of him till they pulled me back. Oh, and now, I don't know. It's just like, it's one kid after another. I mean, wonderful blessings being thrown out the window. I mean, you and Tahiti and Indians and my kids and my women. And I can't save any of you.
Can you save yourself? Because that would be the first step towards saving anyone else. I mean, your parents let you down.
Oh,
Come on, let's
stop
face
it,
it.
will you?
They didn't give you the love and affection and support that every kid needs.
Look, my parents are not on trial here, okay?
And you began, sir, to hate the things in you that you hated in them the most. Your father's good looks, your mother's acting abilities, so you set out to deconstruct them, to deconstruct yourself, if you will, sir.
Your Honor, the council's making a mockery of this situation.
And these despised inheritances are the only way now that you can sustain yourself in the lavish lifestyle to which you have been accustomed, isn't that so?
All right, I'm an actor and I do it for the money. I gotta make a living. It's called growing up.
It's called selling out. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh. What do you know?
Wally, is that what happened to us?
Well, it's what happened to you back in Evanston and perhaps even before that I think is really why I'm here.
Because and this has been gnawing at me for a long time. It wasn't that cattle deal with my old man, was it?
I mean, something that left very deep scars in you, that triggered your sexual confusion, that brought out all that hostility you have for everybody else and yourself.
Because how did I know we were going to lose our shirts? I mean, after all, he was my father.
You always bragged about sleeping with your housekeeper, but Ermeline was sexually molesting you.
Oh, it was at that time. I went to that dinner party at your house, and I stayed under the dining room table all night long. I just didn't want to talk to anybody.
Oh, well, that was just a panic attack. I can't hold you responsible for that, although I might for you ignoring what caused it.
Panic, obviously. Well, for you to Wally, I mean, maybe I'm all wrong here. I mean, maybe there was no problem between us. Maybe everything was just ducky.
No. Everything wasn't just ducky. I mean, we did have a lot of falling outs. In fact, our whole friendship seemed to be one breakup after another.
Well, friendships go in cycles.
But you know, you treated me like a plaything, like you treated everybody else, like your parents treated you. They said dress you up like a soldier or an actor, send you out there to live out their lives for them.
Stop talking about my parents, all right?
But you were no toy, and neither were we. Me, your friends, your family. I mean, I wasn't some little cute, small little hamster or a kitten to be caught falling from a window.
You arrogant, ignorant ass!
You never would be nothing without me, all right? I took care of you. I protected you. In New York, I took you out on dates with me because you couldn't get a girl. You never would have made it out of Evanston if it wasn't for me. Sickly little Wally.
Yeah, well, I pretended to be sick.
Shut up.
Yeah, I did so I could get out of playing with you. But my mother felt sorry for you, and she wanted me to have at least one friend.
That's a goddamn lie, and you know it.
Yeah, well then, I learned how to like you because we both liked the same outlet. We were outcasts. We liked to improvise and argue, and then you started to move away, and you got more and more distant, and then so I learned not to like you.
Oh, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I swear to God, I'm gonna kill you, Wally. Shut up. Shut up!
Hurt a minimum of people, bud.
I'm only gonna hurt you, Wally.
Oh, well, okay then. Look, why don't you just have at it? Why don't you just bully your way through this like you did everything else in your life? Because if that's your idea of love, I mean, have at it, you know? You're more animal than that!
Shut up! I said shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Oh, look what you made me do. How could you say those things to me, huh?
Because maybe you needed to hear them so you could understand.
But I respected you.
Yeah, but you gotta have it. You gotta show it too.
I loved you.
Yeah, but you know that in your hands, love can be a pretty destructive thing. I mean, look for yourself. Look, T, take a look. Look.
You're right.
You're right, and my old man was right too. I'm nothing but a goddamn animal.
Oh, well, no, that
I
isn't
didn't realize,
true.
Wally. I didn't realize it was all my fault. It was all my fault.
No, look. Look. There are no natural causes for people like us, right? We said that.
Yeah, but what about your kids? Okay, I mean, it's all intertwined, learned behavior. Your mother tried to kill herself, and now you, what kind of future are you forging for them? I mean, we all become our parents, our kids become us.
My kids.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no guarantees, but they're going to have a lot better chance if you put that down. I mean, now that you learn that you can turn the tide and learn by your mistakes and teach by example. I mean, look, if you want to save anyone else, you got to save yourself first, right? You know how that works.
You think I can, Wally?
Well, you can do your goddamn best here.
Wally. Oh, thank you, man.
Hey, it's all in a day's work, amigo.
The thing is, why didn't we have this conversation when it could have made a difference?
Well, it could still make a difference for you. I mean, you were always smarter and much quicker than me.
No. Smarty, you were a genius. I was merely brilliant.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, yeah, don't go. You're not going.
Well, look, if I don't go now, I never will.
Well, don't.
I'm sorry, no more Wally Cox questions.
Police, my exotic pet store just got robbed, and the guy's trying to escape. How will you know him? He's the one with the monkey.
Hey, don't worry, bud. This promise between us will
Never be broke. Thumbs?
Thumbs.
One more thing. Wait up. Hey, let's shake hands. Shake hands with Mr. No one can do it as my friend is Wally?
No, Dad, it's me, Christian.
Oh.
Dad, can we talk a little bit?
Funny you should ask.